I am in Austin, Texas with a belly full of barbecue, and this is Ask Ronan Turbo Monday. So I am in Austin, Texas. I am working on a record down here, and the room where I'm staying has a beautiful view, but it's also pretty ambient, so hopefully you guys can understand me. And yeah, so we're down here working on an awesome record, but more importantly, let's get to your questions now. And speaking of questions, keep sending them. The more questions you send, the more of these I get to do. So I'm going to paraphrase these as we start now. Art asks, when I'm working on the road, very timely question, do I bring some kind of setup with specific mic pre's and mics and converters, or do I do something more scaled down? And the answer to that is, well, it depends on the music we're recording, but even more important, it depends on the space and the experience we're trying to record. Some of the times when I'm traveling around the world, we actually go into really nice high-end commercial studios. Other times we're using a Zoom H4n, sometimes even with just the onboard microphones. And actually, even this week down in San Antonio, we caught some master recordings on a camera with an Audio-Technica camera mic mounted on top. So it all depends on how can we best capture the music that's going on in a way that sort of supports the musical experience. But most of the time what we're doing is an Apogee Duet 2 plugged into Apple laptops, and the mics we generally bring with us are Shure KSM32, Shure SM7B, and a Shure SM57. Sorry, that sounds like a Shure ad. It's just with those three mics, I can cover almost anything I'm going to run into, and and they're all pretty durable. We also bring a Triton FET head with us to get a little more gain from the SM7B if we are recording some quiet stuff. But the great thing about the Duet is, the Duet 2 is the one I have, is it kind of kicks ass. It actually, the conversion is solidly good, and even the mic pre's are solidly good. I did a shootout, when I was seeing if this was good enough to bring on the road, with the Apogee mic pre's and some nice Millennia mic pre's. And the Millennia won by just a little bit, but it was not a blowout at all. And it's way easier to run just with a laptop on the Duet, because that Duet 2 is USB powered. So we can actually just run into a location, run into some cave or some old castle or something like that, and run the whole setup just off the battery in the laptop. And that is awesome, because the more and more I do this, the more excited I get about just cool spaces, cool environments, cool experiences. So I think that brings something really beautiful to records that's different than the experiences and the music we can make in just sort of traditional studios. So I think maybe that answers your question, and it's very timely as I am here in Austin, Texas. We just did some remote recording in San Antonio, and tomorrow we are recording trumpet and guitar here in the house I'm staying in, and the next day after that we're going into a commercial studio to track some drums. So all over the map. So our next question is from Aaron, and he asks, at what point do I bring the artist into the mixing process, if at all? And my answer is different than a lot of people. I know a lot of people who just hate having the artists around. I actually love having the artists around most of the time. Because for me, when I have the artists around, or the producer, but really more importantly the artist, we can have more fun with the mix. We can do more courageous things. And so sometimes you have this situation where second verse, I have an idea. Let's completely distort the grand piano, or let's completely mute all of the guitars for the second verse, or something like that, or let's throw away the harmonies, or some big change. And if I've got the artist right there, we can try it real quick, see if everybody loves it or hates it, and then move on from there. When we're doing remote mixing, which is most of the time these days, if you get those kind of ideas, when I send off that mix to the client, I need it to sound amazing. I need it to sound like a beautiful finished record. And if I have some idea like throwing away guitars in one section or something like that, it actually might take a couple hours to dial in that to get it to sound right compared to have, the first verse or something like that So all of a sudden I spend hours dialing in this thing, then I send it off to the client, and first thing they say is, "What the hell did you do to the guitars? In the second verse, I hate it." Well, that's a lot of time wasted. So I can actually have more fun, be more creative, and do cooler stuff with the artists around. Reality is, most of the time, I am mixing records from people all over the world, and we're doing these, working on this incredible, important thing together, and we've never hung out, shared a bottle of wine, or anything like that. I actually like people, I like creating with people, and I love having the artists around, but that's not the way it is much these days, and lots of my friends that mix records actually love that the artists aren't around. I'm kind of different on that. So that is it. Send me questions here. The more questions you send me, the more we can keep doing this. And also, one kind of important thing, November 9th through 14th, I have a 6-day recording boot camp in Los Angeles, and we just had a last-minute cancellation. So there is a spot available. We only let 4 students in, and one of them just left. So if you were thinking of doing it, now is a good time. You can go here and check all that out and see if it's right for you, and contact us. And again, subscribe here. The more people that check this out and share it with their friends, the more fun it is to do, and the more I will keep on doing these. So have fun, stay focused on the music, and see you later from Austin, Texas.